C'est la boo, everybody, and welcome back to the HabWrap. I am your host, Terry Rice. You are listening to the friendliest and funniest source for anything and everything Montreal Canadiens. And tonight, oh baby, we had a hell of a game. The best game of the year for the Canadiens, in my humble opinion. The most fun, for sure. The most passionate game, definitely. And who would have thought? It's a game against one of our rivals, the Tampa Bay Lightning, surprisingly. Not Toronto, not Boston, not Ottawa, not even Florida. Tampa Bay. They're a hell of a team. They're going to make playoffs. They've already clinched along with us. At this point, we're fighting for who gets second in the division right now, aka who gets home ice advantage in the first round. And no surprise, Montreal has it right now. The Canadiens come into tonight needing a win. The Lightning come into tonight needing a win. We had a game, a week and 2 days ago. So things are still pretty hot with the Canadiens. Let's see how this one goes. Of course, you guys know by now, as I'm sure you can see by the title, or by the fact that there's probably 18,000 articles about it by now. Mr. 50 Cole Caufield. Cole Caufield with his 50th goal of the year tonight. He would score one of the Canadiens' goals. And baby, let me tell you guys, best goal of the season. Number 50, the first time since Stéphane Richer, goal scorer hitting 50. Pacioretty couldn't even hit 40. Cole Caufield in one season is the best 30 goal scorer to never score 30 goals, 40 goals, and 50 goals. The memes are dead. Habs fans are right, I should say. Who would have thought? We were right all along. Cole Caufield is a 50 goal scorer. We are going to shove this in everyone's face who never thought Cole would do it. Obviously, congratulations to the young boy himself. I know you guys can't see because this is an audio-only podcast, but I am in fact wearing my Cole Caufield jersey. I have been the last 2 games. Whenever the last game we lost was, it's funny. As a Habs fan now, all the losses just reflect, go away, we're going to win more games. But whenever we last lost, I was wearing the white jersey, and I've switched to the Caufield jersey, and he hit 50 in this. By God, just a phenomenal game for the Montreal Canadiens. Again, congratulations to Cole Caufield hitting 50 goals. And again, this is a little bit of a spoiler. Congratulations to Juraj Slafkovsky. He hits 30 goals for the first time in his career. Remember when everybody was saying he wouldn't hit 30 goals in a season in his prime? Y'all can suck it. So yeah, let's get into the game now. Let's get into the actual lines and then do my notes. Do the stats, get out of here like we usually do. The opening lines for the Canadiens were Caufield, Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Texier, Kapanen, Demidov, Newhook, Deneau, Doc, Veleno, Evans, Anderson, Matheson, Dobson, Struble, Hudson, Jacky, Engstrom, Jakub Dobesh gets the start net for the Canadiens, and Jacob Fowler continues to back him up. So no changes for the Montreal Canadiens. Nothing there. For the Tampa Bay Lightning, sorry, Gensel, Cirelli, Kucherov, Goncalves, Point, keep that in mind, Girgensons, Gord, Bjorkstrand, Peltier, Paul, Perry. So firstly, the Triple P line, love it. And yeah, they went with 11 forwards tonight. They were icing 7 defensemen. Connor Geekie, I believe, is still injured, as is Scotty Sabrin. So Scotty Sabrin was not going to get the chance to get destroyed by Arbor Jackeye tonight. We'll see if in a week and a half's time during one of the first 3 games if Sabrin's going to be healthy enough to get his ass kicked there. On the blue line, who's the 7th defenseman? Well, calm down, I'll tell you. I love doing that. Thank you. Moser, Radish, McDonough, Chernak, Dastow, Lilleberg, and Carlisle. Declan Carlisle is, I believe, his name. He is the 7th defenseman. Andre Vasilevsky obviously gets the start for Tampa, and Jonas Johansson backs him up, as I believe 90% of NHL fans are wondering how the hell does this guy still have a job in the NHL. In the first period, early, Danault has a big hit at the benches. Doc has a nice hit in the corner. Matheson then with a nice hit. Great zone entry as well. 3 minutes in, the game was already getting tense. Spoilers, it would boil over several times in the first 2 periods. The Habs control. Caufield looks to bank one off of Vasi as he turned it over behind the net. The top line controls. Suzuki finds Slaf in front, just wide off of a stick. That was a good play there by the Lightning. And 4 minutes in, the Habs get a power play, their first of many. The Lightning were very dirty tonight. It's double minor for a high stick as Struble goes down. Thankfully, it just catches him in the cheek as it goes under the visor. It doesn't go any higher, which would have been very concerning. He was a bit slow to get up. He would eventually, and thankfully would stay in the game. For the most part, I think he went back to get his cheek glued and just make sure there's no blood. So he was out for technically a while, but it wasn't because of injury, just the fucking thing wouldn't stop bleeding. The Habs cycle. Cole finds Suzuki in the slot. There's a great look that gets saved though. Demidov has a one-timer blocked. That does get cleared. The second unit comes out. They do nothing as per usual. The top line comes out. Demidov has a shot saved, and the second chance slashed at by Slafkovsky. There's another save. Caufield comes in. He has a 5-hole chance. That's saved. Habs pressure. Caufield in the slot, but that gets poked. There's a good hold in. Caufield at the board stops Gensel from clearing. The second unit comes out. The Habs end up 0 for 2 on the power play tonight. Shots were 6-0 Montreal about 8 minutes in. After Danault gets a chance, and he ends up getting slashed after a whistle. There's, of course, no call. Matheson, good job not getting pressured by Kucherov. Demidov does turn a puck over. Gensel has a shot that gets saved. Dobesh makes his first save of the night 9 minutes in, I believe. After the whistle, Demidov and Gensel shove each other just a little bit, and it's clear there's something in this game. There's something that just won't go away, and it's gonna boil over at some point. And just a fun yet very tense vibe to the game in the early stages. Dobesh comes behind the net to play it. Matheson was very stable early in the game. He only had one really bad bobble, and we'll talk about it later. I should say I'll mention. We're not going to discuss it, but I'll mention it. But Matheson had a good game tonight, weirdly. I don't know if it's just that we're getting closer to the playoffs or he's really shoring up his game in general, but the past 2-3 games, Matheson's been pretty solid. I'm very happy about that. I don't know if it's just him playing with Dobson makes him more relaxed, more controlled. I don't know what it is, but Matheson's been quite solid the past few games. And the Habs go to the penalty kill. With 6:49 left, Jack gets called for roughing up Corey Perry. After the whistle, here we go. Anderson goes after a man. Evans takes a couple cheap shots. And yeah, the game, you might think that's the boiling over point. Nope, we're still not there yet. On the penalty kill, Montreal clears early. Dobesh has a save on Gensel. Habs get a clear off of a passing play. Lightning end up clearing the puck themselves as they try to get a cycle going. Danault gets found one-on-one. There's a shorthanded shot. That gets blocked. Suzuki's then found, but the shot ends up wide. Habs are 1 for 1 on the penalty kill tonight. Dobesh for another good save. The game was really starting to get intense at this stage. And there's another delayed penalty to the Canadiens. Demidov is called for a high stick with 4 minutes left. Evans off the draw clears. Matheson has a slapper that goes out of play. The Lightning then go offside on their next rush. Anderson has a clear after a Dobson stick gets in a shooting lane. And here we go. Anderson and Kucherov, second time on the penalty kill. They're going at each other. First time, Kucherov slashed Anderson. Anderson shoving him a few times. Kucherov gives him a slash back. This time, Anderson with a nice little run at Kucherov. Everybody comes in. Perry and Radish end up going up high on Anderson as they come in. And yeah, so the penalties... I did get them right. Anderson gets called 2 for a rough. Kucherov gets called 2 for a slash. Nothing really happens for the remaining 20 seconds. Habs are 2 for 2 on the penalty kill tonight. Texier has a shot off a stick and out of play. Slafkovsky strips a man behind the net. Cole has a shot saved. Suzuki hits the crossbar. Habs were really feeling themselves tonight. Point has a near break. Hudson with a very good hustle back in time. Struble as well. Very solid stick in there to end up breaking that up. They played very good tonight together, did Hudson and Struble. Slav goes the other way. He hits the post as well. Shots in the first period are 8-3 for the Montreal Canadiens. That is right. The Canadiens are outworking the Tampa Bay Lightning at their own game. As if the rest of the fans of the NHL who aren't Tampa fans needed any more reason to love the Montreal Canadiens. Jump aboard, boys. And ladies and gentlemen, we are about to enter the second period. Get your goon helmets on. Get your Jofa buckets going. Grab the stick. Twist the blade up high. We're about to get dirty. So the second period, the Habs, good pressure for the fourth line. Engstrom and Jackeye helping generate some offense, but just not getting shots early. There's an icing called on the Canadiens. Anderson and Desto get tied up. Veleno goes at Desto. Everybody's tied up. Hudson and Perry along the boards. Here we go. Struble goes after Lilleberg, who ends up turtling. Don't try to fight somebody when you've got the protective cage on. Never gonna end well for you. Veleno's going back at Desto, who's giving him some cheap shots earlier. Everybody is going at it now. An insane, little bit of not even a little bit of a scrum, a huge scrum at this point. And the Lightning end up getting the power play out of it at 3:30 in. It makes sense. The refs want to dissipate this early. Every scrum from now, basically every scrum it feels like from now on, they were going to give an extra out. Whether it's to Montreal or Tampa, they were going to give an extra out. They were not going to let this game be played 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 with just a few offsetting penalties. They are going to hand out power plays until these teams learn to get along with each other, pull the pants down, and just have fun with one another. So the penalties. Joe Veleno, please ignore what I just said. Thank you very much. Joe Veleno is called, Veleno and Dostal are called to for roughing each other. Struble is called for roughing Lilleberg. Paul and Anderson are called for roughing each other. Corey Perry's called for roughing Lane Hudson. And Andy gets the extra for cross-checking Desto. A lot of penalties there, I know. But we're just at the start of it. So, the rest of the penalties... No, that was it for that play. Canadians, like I said, end up with the extra. The Lightning go to the power play. On said power play... Matheson with some good skating ends up killing some time. Tampa go offside. Gensel has a shot off the post. The Habs clear. Lightning cycle. Kucherov has a pass, but it gets to a Hab. Evans ends up clearing. Hudson clears off the boards late. The Canadiens 3 for 3 on the penalty kill tonight. I feel like that might be wrong. That might be 2 for 2. But regardless, perfect on the penalty kill tonight. Jackeye has a hard hit on Peltier. And here we go. After a Dobesh save, Gord goes to the front of the net. Demidov clears him. Jackeye sits him on his ass. Game is getting nuts. Lightning off the face-off. They try to press. Coming from behind the net, Hudson ends up getting it out. Slafkovsky with a nice chip to Suzuki. Enters the zone. Finds Caufield. 50. Cole Caufield at 6:30 becomes the first Montreal Canadiens 50 goal scorer since Stéphane Richer. Props to Hudson, who doesn't get an assist, to come out from behind the net, find Slafkovsky. Slafkovsky shot out with the chip to Suzuki, who takes it in and just finds Caufield on the right circle, wrists it beautifully home. Habs take the 1-0 lead. Cole Caufield showing why he is a legitimate goal scorer, why he is here to stay in the National Hockey League. Also, Nick Suzuki with his 97th point on the year. He is now 3 away from 100. Hell to the yeah. And here we go. C50LE drops Matheson. Doc goes after Gensel. Ole chants in the building, especially after that goal. The Bell Center's roof must have been blown off at least 4 times because of that Caufield goal. They were so loud tonight. Louder than the Tampa building has ever been. And it's for a guy just scoring a goal. Tampa, you're pathetic. So again, Ole chance in the building. Habs end up on a power play. C50LE is the lone penalty there. He gets called for roughing up Matheson. Slav has a good look, that's saved. Lightning get a shorthanded 2-on-1, but the shot is over the net. The second unit comes out. The Habs are 0 for 3 on the power play. Habs pressure. There's some good shit by the Canadiens. A good fourth line cycle. They played a very good game tonight. I guess it's technically the third line, because the fourth line is Veleno, Evans, Anderson. I believe I meant that was the third line cycle, yeah. Newhook, Deneau, and Doc. They played very well tonight. I would not be surprised if they're kept together. I know last game it was Kapanen on that line instead of Newhook. They played well too. I think Deneau and Doc just might have good chemistry with whoever they're paired with. I know the talk is that Michael Hage, whenever he gets signed, and I'll probably look at the results really quickly before this game, before the game recap is over, because I genuinely completely forgot to look before the game, before I started recording. But assuming Hage is here for the last 2 games of the season, don't be surprised if Texier comes out. I know there's been a lot of talk of that you could swap Kapanen and Newhook if you need to on the second and third line. But Texier probably does come out for Hage. Don't be surprised if they maybe try Texier, Hage, and Demidov, and then Kapanen third line, and Newhook is a scratch. Not because he's been playing bad, but just rest him up for the playoffs, because you're not going to rest Suzuki. He's got the Iron Man streak. You're not going to rest Cole and Slaf. You want those guys to get some points. You're not going to rest Demigod, because he's a demigod. Newhook's kind of the guy that you can rest up and just know that he'll be reliable in the playoffs. He has a Stanley Cup after all. But yeah, some fun stuff you can consider there. So, with that being said, Texier tips a shot just off the post. Habs are playing very, very well at this stage. Texier then gets cross-checked almost up in the neck. There's no call. Habs fans are doing the wave. Jack-Eye ends up knocking down Dobesh. Back the other way, Jack-Eye with a huge slapper. Girgensons goes down. He was slow to get to the bench. That's fun to see. Always love when Jack-Eye's confident enough to use the slapper. Would love to see him get another goal. I don't think it's going to happen final 3 games. But God, I'd love to see that. I'd love to see a slap goal from Jack-Eye at least once in the playoffs. And here we go again. Oh, I should mention. This is where this happens. Sorry, never mind. I'm getting ahead of myself. We get another scrum after a Canadiens look. Struble gets paired up. Slafkovsky and Nick Paul are going at it. Hudson and Perry again get engaged. Everybody's gathered with each other. Suzuki finally runs over to help Hudson as Perry's trying to bully him off in the corner. Habs end up with a power play, so Bjorkstrand gets called for a slash on Suzuki. Struble and Nick Paul both given 10-minute misconducts. So, yeah, the Canadiens given another power play. Like I said, the refs out of a scrum, they are not going to go 4-on-4. They're giving one team the disadvantage. And if you're the Lightning, they did not give a shit. They were still going to assault the Montreal Canadiens. Too bad it doesn't end up working for them. Jack-Eye and Perry having a bit of a conversation at the benches as the penalties are getting all sorted out. The Habs push in front. Suzuki has a shot saved. It gets cleared. Suzuki finds Caufield in the slot over to Demidov. That gets saved and also ends up cleared. A second unit out for the first time. They look good. Texier finds Newhook, but the one-timer is saved. Habs are 0 for 4 on the power play tonight. And here we go. Anderson with a big hit on Kucherov, that's after a 3-on-1 where the Evans shot gets saved. There was a delayed penalty, but I believe it was Carlisle initially. But Anderson off the hit from Kucherov. Carlisle's gonna run after him. He drops his glove before Andy does. Andy eventually gets them off, and he just feeds Declan Carlisle the entire time. At this point, the Lightning are fine with losing this game. They just want to try and injure the Montreal Canadiens, which is just disgraceful. Absolute bullshit by the Lightning. Should have tried to do the same thing back to them, but you know what? We're the better team. We don't need to. We just win with skill. So yeah, Andy just completely butchers Declan Carlisle. The penalties are obviously Anderson and Carlisle both 5 for fighting. Carlisle gets a 2-minute misconduct, which also means, a 2-minute instigator, which also means he gets a 10-minute misconduct. 17 minutes of penalties on one play for Declan Carlisle, which basically means he is gone until there's about 7 minutes left in the third, which just, 17 minutes, yeah, about that. About 7 to 8 minutes left in the third period. He's gone for a long time, is what we can surmise out of that. So the Canadiens go back to the power play with exactly 5 minutes left. Habs cycle. Demidov has a pass, but that gets stopped. Dobesh comes way out to play it off of a clear. Habs try to cycle. There's a Suzuki pass that gets turned away. Gonsalves kills a bunch of time as he sort of rushes, not really. He's not looking for a scoring chance. He's just killing some time. Second unit comes out late. The Habs are 0 for 5 on the power play. Point goes to the net. He runs Jakub Dobesh, and here we go all over again. Matheson cross-checks Point while he's down, rightfully so. Destow mugging Texier, who does not want to drop the gloves. Destow going after him. Radish throwing some punches at Evans, who also keeps his gloves on. Radish does not. And yeah, it's clear that, again, the Lightning just want to injure the Montreal Canadiens. Absolute pieces of shit. Probably should have started stick swinging at the heads, but you know what? Like I said, you're winning with your skill. They want to take you out. Just go show them who the better team is, and we would do that. So, the penalties. Firstly, Point does get the call for goaltender interference. Radish gets Radish and Evans get 2 for roughing. Radish gets an extra, and Texier gets called 2 for roughing Destow. Evans, Radish, Texier, and Destow all also get 10-minute misconduct penalties. So, yeah, I don't know how Destow gets no roughing, but gets a 10-minute misconduct. Yeah, that was kind of the only thing that didn't make sense to me. But either way, the Canadiens are back on a power play. It should probably be a 5-on-3, but I will absolutely accept a 5-on-4 still. I will definitely accept that, a power play anyway, so thank you, refs. Point, like I said, gets 2 for the goalie interference. Lightning end up playing a 1-3 trap at their line. Habs eventually do get in. There's a one-time rebound from Slav, but that's cleared. Second unit comes out after another clear. They don't get anything. Lightning clear this near 2-on-1, but Dobson with a nice stick to break that up. Habs are 0 for 6 on the power play tonight. That would basically end the second period. The shots were 16-10 Canadiens. They have a 1-0 lead after the second period. In the third period, there's a weird bouncer up in the air. Kapanen finds it. The shot gets saved. Demidov off a steal. Basically a 2-on-1 across for Kapanen. Vasi with another great save there. Jesus. Kucherov has a look, but that's just wide. Sorry. Yeah, Kucherov has a shot, but that's just wide. The Habs look to press in return. Good D by the Lightning, though. Off a puck battle, Perry has a shot saved as he was all alone right in front. Dobesh, the reason the Canadiens are still leading this game at this stage. Jack Guy with a nice hit on Point along the boards. Matheson wins a puck battle along the boards. Jack Guy with another hard hit. You guessed it, along the boards. Anderson then eats a high stick 4 minutes in. There's no call. Back and forth. Both teams kind of holding it down, not opening anything. By the way, the whole Destow, Evans, Radish stuff, that would be the ultimate blowover. The second period was very violent. The third, I will spoil it, very, very simmered down. Yeah, both teams just kind of just settled it. They realized the game was going to get out of hand if they kept it up. They just kind of settled it, said, all right, let's just go play hockey. Danault and Girgensons go at it after a whistle. Ironic I say that and then that happens, but yeah, it wasn't like they were throwing punches. No, just engaging, a couple shoves, small little scrum. Hudson tries to get a wrister, but the Canadiens ice it moments later. A little bit of a questionable one. Yeah, the one earlier, I believe that was the one where it looked like Anderson was going to get to it, but the way it was going, Nick Paul would have gotten to the puck first, and that one was fair. This one was, though, very, very questionable. Very much holds up on the ice, on the grabbing the puck to make sure it's an icing. Habs end up with a 3-on-1 after a bobble by McDonough. Suzuki has a shot saved. The rebound just can't be controlled as it's in the air by Slafkovsky. Dobesh makes a good save the other way. Jack-Eye and Perry get tied up along the boards, but they don't want to drop them. Jack-Eye's clearly going at Perry, saying, hey, you said, there's the thing in the second period, like I mentioned, and Perry basically said that he was coming for Jack-Eye. Jack-Eye trying to give him what he wants, and Perry just running away. 41-year-old bitch. Who would have thought? Jack-Eye then runs Dobesh again accidentally. They would have a conversation later. Dobesh probably just telling Jack-Eye, hey, look, I love you. Stay the fuck away from me, please. Which, very valid. Newhook has a steal, but there's a stick that breaks that up. Back the other way, Matheson has a turnover, but Dobesh blocks the shot. That was the lone Matheson bobble. Understandable. He can get one every 5 games if he plays the way he's played recently. Fuck, that's for sure. And here we go again. Danault in another scrum. This one just kind of small. Habs do end up with a power play out of it. Mosier gets called for a rough on Newhook. Habs cycle, just can't find anything to the net. Lightning clear. Habs weren't able to enter the zone midway through. Second unit comes out late. The Habs 0 for 6 on the power play tonight. A couple minutes later, a minute 20 later, Perry dives on a Demidov trip. It is called, Demidov gets called 2 for kneeing on Corey Perry. That comes with just about 5.5 left in the game. Gensel in the slot. Dobesh with a big save there. Habs end up with a 3-on-1. Habs end up with a 3-on-1. Danault finds Veleno the shot, just deflected into the corner, though. Dobesh with another good save as Lightning are very much beginning to pressure. There's a shot saved. Perry sets it up. Gensel with the fake to Kucherov. Hits the post and out of play. Holy shit, the Canadiens are 4 for 4 on the penalty kill tonight. Paul then comes in offside intentionally, and it's just outside the zone, not all the way back to the Lightning, because of course, why would it be? Goncalves has a shot off a body. That comes after a Slafkovsky shot is saved. Vasi goes to the bench with 2:10, and with 2:09 left. That's not right. Sorry, yeah, with a minute 41 left, there we go. With a minute 41 left, numbers are very hard for me. Darren Radish ties it up, his 22nd goal of the year as a defenseman. That is crazy. Darren Radish with a really solid slapper. You have not seen a slapper like that often at all. Shea Weber, Zdeno Chara, and Sheldon Soray. Darren Radish apparently as well. But Radish gets the goal. He scores from Kucherov and Goncalves. He ties it up with a minute 40 left. Damn it. A minute 50, I should say. Thought that it was going to be a shutout for Jakub Dobesh. Kid really deserves one, but alas, it'll not. The game is tied. Canadiens come back the other way. Off a sort of a rush. Suzuki off a dump-in. It ends up getting turned over by Nikita Kucherov. Suzuki, from behind the net, sends it out in front. And Juraj Slafkovsky, 30-goal season. That is right. The Montreal Canadiens, they allow the tying goal. And not even 40 seconds later, or not even 50 seconds later, not even a minute later, the Montreal Canadiens get the lead back. Juraj Slafkovsky with his 30th of the year, his first 30-goal season. Kucherov being the man who Slafkovsky breaks out from and puts it home. Mwah. Poetic justice. Slafkovsky gives the Habs the lead with 1:04 left. Immediately, the Lightning call their timeout. Vasi ends up going to the bench with 55 seconds left. Evans has a backhand towards the net, but that's just wide. Lightning pressure. Slav gets it. He sends it down, but that gets called on the icing. The Ole chants are in full force with a minute left. Slav sends one into the bench with 10 seconds left. Evans wins a draw. Evans along the board. Matheson, along the board. Gets it to Suzuki. Sends it down. Habs get the win. 2-1 in regulation. You don't even give the Lightning a point in this game. The Montreal Canadiens hold on. Final shots end up being 21-18 for the Montreal Canadiens. Baby, we are coming for the playoffs. We are coming hard. We are coming to kick some Lightning ass in the first round. A 2-1 regulation win, outplaying the Tampa Bay Lightning the whole way through. Just a game Montreal needed, a game Montreal got, and a game that solidifies the Canadiens as better than the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jesus, as if we needed any more reason to prove that we can just sweep them aside in the first round and move on to looking at Buffalo already. So yeah, that does it for the game. Legitimately a very, very, very fun game. Very well played between both teams. The Canadiens get the lucky bounces their way. I look forward to seeing the Lightning fans bitching on Twitter that the refs favored the Montreal Canadiens, despite the Canadiens not scoring on a single one of their power plays, and the Lightning also getting 4 power plays, of which 2 of them should not have been called, and also getting away with about 3 other penalties. So yeah, again, that does it for the game. We're going to do the stats and get on out of here because my throat is a little bit sore. I've got some fries that are waiting for me. Shout out Benny's if they want to give a sponsorship. I'm listening. Even if it's not monetary, it's just free fries. Hell yeah, I'll take the sponsorship. So yeah, the stats for the Canadiens. Let's go. Nick Suzuki, obviously, Captain Clutch, leads the Canadiens. 28 goals, 70 assists, 98 points. Oh, I should mention, by the way, Slafkovsky scores from Suzuki. That's what the goal line is. So that's right. Nick Suzuki, with 3 games left in the year, needs just 2 points to hit 100 for the first time in his career. Hell fucking yeah. Cole Caufield, 50 goals, 37 assists for 87 points on the year. Lane Hudson, 12 goals, 63 assists for 75 points. Juraj Slafkovsky, 30 goals, 41 assists for 71 points. Ivan Demidov, 18 goals, 43 assists for 61 points. Noah Dobson, 12 goals, 35 assists for 47 points. He is on a 21-game goalless drought. Oliver Kapanen, 22 goals, 15 assists, 37 points. He is on a 7-game pointless drought. Mike Matheson, 7 goals, 30 assists for 37 points. He is on a 4-game pointless drought as well. Zach Bolduc, 11 goals, 17 assists for 28 points. He is on a 7-game pointless drought. Alex Newhook, 12 goals, 11 assists, 23 points. He is on a 4-game pointless drought. Josh Anderson, 13 goals, 9 assists, 22 points. He is on a 9-game pointless drought. Jake Evans, 11 goals and 11 assists for 22 points. He is on an 8-game pointless drought. Alexander Carrier, who is unfortunately still hurt, 7 goals, 15 assists for 22 points. Brendan Gallagher, 6 goals, 16 assists for 22 points. He is on an 8-game pointless drought and a 20-game goalless drought. Again, he was a healthy scratch, so those didn't jump up at all. Alexander Texier, 8 goals, 12 assists for 20 points. He is on an 8-game pointless drought. Kirby Dach, 8 goals, 6 assists for 14 points. He is on a 16-game pointless drought. 6-game pointless drought. Phil Deneau, 6 goals and 6 assists for 12 points. Jaden Struble, 2 goals and 10 assists for 12 points. Caden Gooley, 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points. He is on an 8-game pointless drought. Sammy Blais, before he got sent back down to Laval, he had 2 goals and 3 assists for 5 points with the Canadiens. Joe Veleno, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. He is on a 20-game pointless drought. Arbor Xhekaj with a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. Owen Beck had a goal and a 7-game pointless drought before he was sent back down to Laval. Patrick Laine, Florian Xhekaj, Jared Davidson, who are both back in Laval, and Adam Engstrom all have an assist this year. Arbor Xhekaj obviously leads the Canadiens with 7 fights on the year. Josh Anderson has 4 of them all of a sudden. Jaden Struble with 2 fights. Brendan Gallagher, Kirby Dach, Caden Gooley, Joe Veleno, and Florian Xhekaj all have a fight with the big boys this year. Jakub Dobeš obviously leads the Canadiens goaltenders with a 29-8-4 record, a 2.69 goals against average, and a 904 save percentage. Samuel Montembeault with a 10-8-4 record, a 3.43 goals against average, and an 872 save percentage. Jacob Fowler, he has an 8-6-2 record, a 2.52 goals against average, and a 904 save percentage, along with the lone shutout for the Montreal Canadiens this year. So again, that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. Thank you all so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're on YouTube. Hit the follow button if you are on the Spotify, Amazon, wherever you might be listening to the podcast on. And always, as always, please don't forget to share the podcast as well with anybody who you think might enjoy it, such as a fellow Montreal Canadiens fan, a hockey fan who's maybe looking for a Montreal Canadiens podcast, or someone who you think just might enjoy listening to some fat kid from Quebec talk about the Montreal Canadiens for half an hour after every game. So again, that is going to do it for this episode of the HabWrap. My name is Harry Rice, and always remember, no matter how good we were like last year, how pretty damn good we are like this year, or how phenomenal we're going to be in the future, go Habs go, Allez Montreal, and say with me everybody, Celebrate!